My name is Kwabena Chenchen, but many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our very first story is and the Supreme Court is today expected to decide the fate of the contemnors in the Montie FM case. Two panelists of the radio program Pampaso, that's Lester Nelson and Gordon Kogan, host of the program, Sally Fumase, popularly known as Mugabe, as well as owners of the station, were all found guilty of contempt for threatening to kill judges sitting on the voters register case. The accused were found guilty for scandalizing the court, defying and lowering the authority of the court, and bringing it into disrepute by the court presided over by Justice Sophia Ekofo. But even before the Apex Court gives its judgment, a total of heavy security deployments at the court over fear supporters of the accused persons may cause mayhem. Let's get some more now from Joseph ACKAH BLAY, who's at the Supreme Court monitoring the situation. There he's joining us on phone now with some more. So ACKAH BLAY, good afternoon, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us what the situation at the Supreme Court is as we speak?
For outside the court premises, the road across the street, you have some supporters of the contemnors. They are standing across the road. Now, still across the road, just right at the pedestrian walk in front of the Supreme Court, we have about 8 police vehicles parked at that side. We also have 2 police crowd control vehicles just parked at the main entrance with 2 officers standing about the vehicle. You can also see quite a number of police officers patrolling the main entrance to the vehicle. Now, within the premises itself, for those who are familiar with the Supreme Court, when you enter the driveway that leads to the court itself, on the right side, you have the back where you have the image of the 3 high court judges who were murdered. Right across it, you have some police officials ensuring that those who are maybe moving in from where you have the circuit court to the Supreme Court building, they should be coming here to do something that is related to the proceedings that is taking place. So they have a bit of blockade here aside the main one at the main entrance leading to the compound of the Supreme Court. Now, once you enter the court premises too, you can see officers from the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Prison Service, and the Ghana Military Service. They are patrolling the main compound with sniffing dogs as well, ensuring that all is safe here at the court premises and nothing untoward happens here at the court premises. So in terms of the security, that's the situation here.
You are told that the judges have begun the ruling on that very contempt case. Do we know of any updates as far as that very issue is concerned?
Now, the proceedings today started first and foremost with one of the directors, Mr. Atu Ahoy, appearing in court. Now, listeners viewers will remember that last week he failed to show up in court and saying that the counsel explained that he had traveled outside the country for medical treatment, but he appeared in court today, and so far he was allowed to first and foremost take his plea as to whether he's guilty or not guilty or liable or not. And he said he's liable, but with explanation. He went ahead to state the fact that Network Broadcasting Company owns the radio station as well as Radio Gold and TV Gold. He talked about the fact that the station was established as far back as 1995, and there are persons such as Randy Abbey and Kwame Sifakan have all at a point in time worked with the Network Broadcasting Company. The presiding Justice Sophia Ekofo, had a bit of a problem with that, and she sought to find out from him whether that is an explanation he was giving. But he went ahead to apologize and stated that he was liable. He was summarily convicted by the court, so he has been found guilty of the charge of contempt. Now, Sophia Ekofo proceeded to read the judgment of the court, and so far she has been talking about the fact that the judiciary is an important organ, one that holds the nation together and acts as the voice of the people. So it's important for people not to scandalize the court. Then again, she also touched on the fact that it's important that people do not get the impression that the court is trying to stifle freedom of expression. So she touched on that as well, and said also that she's disappointed in the fact that the board members, as directors of the station, they are the ones who direct the vision of the station. So they were irresponsible in this particular case. So she's going ahead with the ruling, but that is what has transpired in the court so far.
Joseph ACKAH BLAY, many thanks for that update. We'll return to you once we have some more information. That's Joseph ACKAH BLAY joining us on phone from the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is currently giving a judgment on that very contempt case involving Montie FM, some 2 panelists and a radio presenter. We'll be bringing you more as and when we do have that information. But away from that now, and work at several offices at the ministries here in the capital Accra have come to a halt following a decision by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana to begin a nationwide strike. Now, the workers are protesting what they describe as government's failure to pay their interim premiums. In some parts of the country, though, some workers of CLOGSAG still appear to be working despite the strike directive by the leadership. But CLOGSAG is hopeful all its members will stay away from the offices in the coming days.
By the Constitution, any other two people can form a grouping. So you should expect that you might have some infiltrators within your ranks. So this is not new to us, and it's not a surprise to us anyway. No matter what it is, we are fighting for our membership. We have our membership, and our membership are adhering to our directive. And we are very optimistic that we shall, achieve whatever we want.
In the northern region, where you happen to be regional secretary, we are told that a number of people there are still at post. Is that not a bit of a problem for you?
Today marks the beginning, and this is the starting point. It's the starting point, so you should expect that.
Well, my colleague Beatrice Edu has been to some of the offices here in the capital Accra, and she's joining me in studio to tell us more on what she discovered on her rounds. Beatrice, many thanks for joining us. So, indeed, you've been to quite a number of offices at the ministries. What did you discover? All
right, so I went to the Education Ministry, where people are not working, but you find a few skeletal staff on duty. I also went to the Employment Ministry, where I did not really find a lot of people working, but they said that they were complying with the strike, as well as the Health Ministry. In fact, I went ahead to the Public Relations Officer's door just to find out whether he was there and what was happening. People there, a lot of doors were locked. I found just very few people there, and even his office was not, opened. At the Education Ministry, I was able to speak with two people who did not want to be known, and so they spoke off camera. We can hear them.
Right.
Yesterday we were called to an emergency meeting by CLOGSAG. At the meeting, there was declaration that today, 27th, all CLOGSAG members should embark on strike.
So this is supposed to be a sit-down strike, or workers are not supposed to report to work at all?
Workers are not supposed to report to work. And those who come, maybe for one or two reasons, they are not supposed to work.
Why are you here?
Oh, I'm here to, the ministry is having a workshop at M Plaza, so I'm here to prepare myself to attend that workshop.
So if I get you, if it wasn't for the workshop, you wouldn't have been here?
Yes, exactly.
This is a very busy place, but I strongly believe that it's as a result of the CLOGSAG announcement that workers should not attend work at all. So as you can see from here, you already see some skeletal people around.
Which department are you in?
I work for Ministry of Education there.
So you're also embarking on a strike? You're not doing anything?
Sure.
So that was my colleague Beatrice Edu speaking to some members who had showed up at the offices of the Education Ministry, I believe.
Exactly.
And so these were just two people you saw and you were able to speak to?
Yes.
Okay.
But at the Finance Ministry, people were working. In fact, they did not know that there was a strike today. A lot of them were just opposed, and they said that they didn't even know that CLOGSAG was embarking on a strike. And I remember earlier when we were speaking, you asked whether they are members of CLOGSAG, and apparently some of them are members, yet they did not know that the leadership had declared a strike today. I went ahead to the Public Sector Reform Secretariat, where over there some were working, others were not working. I met one such person who, again, for his own reasons, would not want to speak on camera, and he explained why he chose to work today.
Okay.
Well, we are supposed to obey our leadership, okay, but if the government is going to do something about it, I think that there will be no need for a strike. Okay?
Are you taking part?
Am I taking part? If our leadership says we should go, we will go. If they say we shouldn't go, we won't go.
But you're working. I've just seen you with files.
Yes, because I have not received the instruction from my boss not to work.
But there are members of CLOGSAG here.
Yes, there are members of CLOGSAG here.
Are some of your colleagues working, or they are embarking on?
Some are working. Some are working.
Including yourself?
Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, until I get firm instructions that don't work, then I'll go and sleep.
So, Chenchehine, that was a worker at the Public Sector Reform Secretariat explaining why he had to work, although the leadership has declared, the leadership of CLOGSAG has declared a strike today.
Okay, Beatrice, many thanks for that update. And that was Beatrice bringing us some more on her checks as she embarked on that mission to find out whether or not indeed CLOGSAG workers in the capital Accra had embarked on that strike. as directed by their leadership. But away from that now, let's talk about security. An outgoing officer of the Armed Forces Central Command, Brigadier General Joseph Ackah says the country's military is able and ready to deal with any threats ahead of the 2016 general elections. Speaking at a handing-over ceremony in Kumasi, the newly appointed defense advisor to Ghana's mission in China said despite the motion, the Central Command area of the region remains a volatile one. The unit is more than capable of maintaining law and order before, during, and after the 2016 general elections.
Brigadier General Bwampong says the peculiar socio-political and economic setting of the command's jurisdiction makes its management challenging.
This command's area of responsibility remains a volatile one due to its unique socio-political economic disposition. The numerous cases of ethnic and chieftaincy crisis, land litigations, arms trafficking, cross-border crimes, illegal mining and robbery, among others, make life here a real challenge. Movement of troops from one operational role and theater to the other occur on daily basis. There is therefore constant pressure on personnel and logistics to meet their recurring operational demands. This notwithstanding, I think commanding this command is an experience that I will ever cherish. The quality of troops serving in this command is portrayed by the slogans of the units. Where others say it is scary, the 3rd Battalion will tell you to be as fearless as a scorpion. When the going gets tough and many are quitting, the 4th Battalion will say, never give up. When the call for duty comes and others are finding excuses, the 6th Battalion will always respond, yes, we can. Call on the airborne force anytime, any day, and they will dare where others dread. And with the irons by our side,
Brigadier General Bwampong assumed command of the then Northern Command, comprising Ashanti, Bunahafo, and the 3 northern regions in 2013. Later, it was redesignated Central Command, this time around, without the 3 northern regions, but included Eastern Region. Brigadier General Cosmos Al-Hassan takes over as General Officer Commanding. Regional Minister John Akon charged the military to identify hotspots ahead of elections in December and find ways of averting any threat to national security. He is worried about likely tension, which he says could disrupt the flow of activities during electioneering.
How do we each grab what the system? Let us look ahead to be able to identify similar tensions in order to preempt action to restore order. Let us identify hotspots and put measures in place to discourage hooliganism and bring sanity to the electoral process.
For Jones, President.
Now, head of prosecutions for the Ashanti Regional Police, Emmanuel Akono, says a fine of 1,200 Ghana cedis slapped on Maxwell Kofi Juma, convicted of destroying electoral materials, is enough punishment for the act, contrary to suggestions by a section of the public. The former mayor of Kumasi was arrested last year for destroying one of the albums being used for the NPP parliamentary primary for Asokwa at the Ahinsan Youth Center in Kumasi. His aide, Richard Oscar, was also arrested for preventing the police from arresting his boss. After a year of trial, they were both convicted on charges of causing unlawful damage contrary to Section 2261 of the Criminal Offences Act. Now, there have been mixed reaction on why the prosecution decided to charge Kofi Juma under the Criminal Offences Act instead of the Elections Offences Act, which holds stiffer punishment. The head of prosecutions for the police in the Ashanti region, Superintendent Emmanuel Akono, tells Erastus Asaridonko that the decision was made by the Attorney General's office.
Yesterday we went to court for the judgment, and as you are aware, this case went for a full trial when Maxwell Kofi Juma was put before the court. Initially, he wrote a petition to the Attorney General, requested the Attorney General to call for the docket and for study and advice. Attorney General did so, and the advice came that we should charge him under the Criminal Offences Act, specifically Section 172(1)A of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29. He was charged. There was another person who was charged differently from what Kofi Juma was charged. He was charged for resisting or preventing the police to arrest the Kofi Juma. He is called Richis Oscar. And now when we went to court, as yesterday, the judge delivered his judgment in that matter, and Kofi Juma was found guilty after the full trial and convicted accordingly. The judge sentenced him to 100 penalty unit. When you convert it, that is 12,200 Ghana cedis. Now the offenses of the offense of which Kofi Juma was charged, according to the act, is a misdemeanor. It doesn't entail custodial sentence, although the custodial sentence may be the discretion of the court or the judge. He may convict him and sentence him to maybe imprisonment. However, the judge took certain things in consideration, especially his age, that he's 65 years, he's a family man, having children, responsible person, and he gave him that sentence. To me, that sentence or the fine is not a lenient one. The judge did not deal with him leniently. It's enough. It's a deterrent. It serves as a lesson to other well-minded persons who have that intention to maybe destroy our beautiful or green.
You're still watching this today here on the Joy News channel on Montie TV. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you an update on the situation in court. We are told that the judges have passed the judgment on this very issue. We're bringing that to you right after this break. Stay with us.